Yo guys, what's up? Welcome to my channel if you're new. Welcome back if you're not. Today, I really want to talk about the new OPR map in New World Aeternum. I want to go over the good, the bad, the fun stuff, the bugs. So let's just dive into it and let's just get started. First things first, the map layout is amazing. I'm going to be showing a bunch of different clips throughout this video, but the main video I'm showing in this clip, we basically won by holding the two off points while the enemy team held the middle point. Or in this case, we can say the top point. And the top point is kind of like the main fighting area in this one. Like in the other OPR map, the middle is kind of the main fighting point, and then it pushes to either side from there. In this map, the new map, the top point is kind of the main fighting area. So I actually really like the layout. Not only that, I like how Baron is directly underneath the middle point. I think that's really cool. I love that idea, and I hope to see more innovative ideas kind of like that in the future. I also like how the ore and the wolves are located at the top here. It makes it really convenient when you're being the builder, when you're building up the base or collecting the resources, to not have to run all the way to the back corner for the wolves, and then all the way up for the mine, and then all the way over to the left side for the trees. It's actually nice just having everything up at the top there, and then having the trees on the way back within the mine with the ores as well. I think this works very well together, and I love this. I also like where the brute's located, and I like where the wolf is located and the giant orc guy. Not sure his name, but I'll just call him giant orc guy. I like the locations of everybody. Everybody's in a very nice location. I also like how the map is very CQB, close quarter combat. There is some points in the map where the LOS is very long. It's not like close quarters map. Like there's a nice LOS point. Right off the bat, where I could think about this is in between the fort where the turret's located, all the way up to the staircase, and also when you get onto one of the upper areas. In this map, one thing that I really like is they brought back the ability to climb things. So if you didn't know, in the original OPR map, you could climb things, but they ended up removing it because people were climbing up to areas they didn't really want them to be in. Kind of like it's like giant pillars in the original OPR map. I'll try to show a clip if I got one. And people will climb all the way up there and just snipe down. So they basically removed it completely, the climbing features from the original OPR map. But in this one, they're bringing them back, and I love that. I love giving the players choice. I love giving the players choice in mobility on what to do. Taking away player choice, I'm not a big fan of that. So having the option to climb things and find new locations is super cool. They did add in these walls into the OPR, and I'm hoping they add these into the old map as well. And what these walls essentially do is they make it so that you can buy them in the store for 50 Azoth, whatever, and then you could take this, put it into your hotbar, which I find super cool. I hope that they do this with more things in the future other than just the wall. You can put the wall into your hotbar, and then you can place it down on the ground, and then build it for like 3 wood or something, and it just gives you some cover when you're in the field. So I think that this would be mainly better in the original OPR map when there's that long road in between points. I think you could have a couple of these walls set up there. People could spend some of their points there and set up some walls along the path, and I think that that would actually be amazing for that map. It also gives people a point to wait a second, go to the red tent, spend their Azoth that they've been collecting throughout the match, and actually like building some cool things out in the map and changing the environment a little bit. Like with these walls, it kind of like changes the environment so that you have more cover in these locations, and it just changes up how people play. One thing that I can see being a little OP, but I honestly hope that they keep it because I think that it's super cool to have more things to build other than just the tier 3 doors and the respawn point and the tent. But the turrets are actually super OP in this map, especially this location right here. On either one of the forts, if you build the turret in this location, you have such a good LOS across the map. Like for example, you can take out the door from across the way on the other fort. You can shoot the snipers off the top of the rocks. The LOS that this turret has is crazy, and I really hope that they keep it in because again, it gives people more things to build. Like, oh, I'm gonna build this, and you know what, I don't want to run around, I want to sit on the turret. There's been a couple games where I just wanted to sit on the turret and have some fun and shoot people. And one thing that this map did that's also different is the amount of summoning shrines that are on a location. So in the other OPR map, there's only one summoning shrine for each side of the fort. But the way that this map is laid out, there's like 2 summoning shrines outside of the top middle one. And on the off fort, there's like 2 summoning shrines basically side by side. And this is really good if you're a solo player, especially if you're a builder, not huge on PvP. What you can do is you can go off and you can kill the wolf boss, and then you can go off and kill the orc guy, and you can come back here and place the 2 summoning stones in these locations and use them kind of as a defense. If you're getting pushed by a guy, you can fall back to this location and know you have 2 good NPCs that are backing you up. Ideally, you want a brute in this location, but something you can get fast and easy is the bear and the wraith. This does lead into a glitch though on this map, is that if you put a brute in this location, he'll run around the corner for some reason and start targeting all the doors on the base. And sometimes they'll even bug out when they're retreating and just run halfway across the map. It's actually pretty funny. It's not super game breaking. Well, him breaking the door is pretty game breaking, but him running across the map is actually hilarious. Every time I see it happening, it makes me laugh. But definitely the door one is a big one. If you put the brute here, he takes down the tier 3 doors like they're nothing, and then he just retreats back to his spot. So that is a little game breaking. They will fix this. It was just a weekend, like they knew there's going to be bugs and stuff. That's why it's only out for the weekend, but then they're going to add it back. And they were also taking feedback. So if we completely hated this map, they were going to remove the map, completely like work on it, and then put it back. And thankfully, I feel like that's not needed in this case. I feel like the layout's good. I feel like the positioning's good for everything. I feel like the climbing stuff's good. And like one of the developers said, it was nice to have all of this stuff in mind in the first place while making the map, instead of it all being like afterthoughts. It's just a really good map, honestly. Like I've been playing the map nonstop all weekend, and I haven't done that probably for about a year. Like I played the original OPR map for basically 2 years nonstop. And last year I basically just play a couple games and I'll do something else. I'll go do mutations, or I'll go do a chest run, or I'll go do something else. This weekend though, I've just been doing nothing but playing this new OPR map, and for me, it feels like this is literally what the game's been missing. It feels like it's long overdue. It feels like, for me, it's just, yeah, it feels like this is what I was missing from the game, was more 20 versus 20 maps, whether that's more outpost rush maps, or capture the flag, or an escort one, whatever it is. That's what I feel like the game was missing, and it's so fun. The bridges, let's talk about the bridges for a second. Some people are saying they're pointless, but they're only really pointless if you're leaving the base. So what the buildable bridges are is so that you can get back into your base, and you can use your base to move from point to point a little bit easier and faster. It's actually nice to have the bridges, so that way when you're trying to rotate to a point, you can rotate back through your base, but you don't need it to leave the base. To leave the base, it's not doing anything. There's a little pathway that you can walk up, but that's because you're pushing out. But if you want to get back in to maybe go north, or maybe to push mid or something, for some reason, if you want to get back inside, you need the bridge to get back over there. And in certain locations, I've actually gotten pushed back to that bridge when it wasn't built yet, and I had to jump down into the tunnel and hopefully get away, because sometimes they would stop me and kill me, and sometimes I'd be able, because it's CQB, to get around the corner real quick and dip. But because the bridge wasn't there, I wasn't able to get back into safety, and I had to think on my feet and just try to go a different way. So the bridge is 50-50. When you're leaving the base, it's not needed, but when you're going back to the base, you need it for the sides. The front way, to go directly to the middle point, you don't need a buildable bridge there. There is no buildable bridge for that one. It's literally just for the sides. One to go up top to the wolves and the ore and the corruption portal, and the other one to go down to the fort. So people want these bridges to have kind of more of a point, so like maybe you wouldn't be able to get up to the other side either leaving the fort unless you built the bridge. That's kind of like the sentiment that I'm getting from people. Like that's kind of like the talk, but I feel like it's not a huge issue. Like if they wanted to leave it how it is, it's not like, oh my god, the bridges are useless, because again, you still need to get back in. But also just know that for when you're building the next map, to maybe have a bridge or two that's a little bit more important in the map. Another critique that I could have is, if the bridges are going to be more important, make them harder to destroy, because right now you can destroy the bridges really easy, and they're kind of a big investment. It's 200 wood, 200 ore, I think, or 100 wood, 100 ore, I think, and it's really not worth it if the bridge is important and it gets destroyed so easy. Another issue that I have about stuff getting destroyed pretty easy is those walls that I was talking about earlier. That's pretty cool. I'd really like to see these walls. So right now, if an enemy places a wall, you can go up to it and press a demolish key, kind of like the use key, and it'll just demolish the wall and the resources for the wall will be placed on the ground. Instead of this, I would really like for these walls to act as like a 2-tiered door, so that way people can't just walk up to it and demolish it, they actually have to destroy it, and it would have as much health as a tier 2 door. Whether they can be repaired or not, AGS would have to decide on that, but that's how I would like to see them function in the future, and hopefully that they can change that. Another thing I really like about this map, and I know it's not a huge issue to new console players, or really a lot of the vets, but some people still don't have the Elysian Wilds expansion. Console players, you don't have to worry about this because it comes with your base game, but for PC players who purchase the game on launch, they need to buy an expansion called Elysian Wilds in order to get a mount. You cannot get access to the mount if you didn't buy the Elysian Wilds before the console release. In this new OPR map, you really don't need a mount to get to the middle fight or really to do anything. I know they probably weren't concerned about this when they were making the map, because honestly pretty much everybody has their mounts now, but one of my friends actually doesn't have the expansion still to this day, and it would be really deterring for him to play OPR and not be able to use a mount to get to mid. But in this map you don't need it. You can get to the beginning fight at the start of the round just walking to it. You don't need your mount, and you're not going to be super late to the fight like in the other OPR map. This being said, I know that I'm saying that I love this tight quarter CQB map, but I still like the original map as well. So I don't want to see all maps going forward be tight CQB maps where you don't really need a mount, but a nice variety and mix between ones that are more wider open and where you need a mount, and ones that are more CQB where you don't really need a mount, I think is the perfect balance. One thing I find companies will do is when people say that they like something a certain way, like these tight CQB maps, a company will do nothing but CQB maps until the community is completely sick of it and then switch back to another style, like the original open map. I really hope that they don't pound this idea into the ground and that they keep a nice variety between open and CQB. Again, there is a couple bugs in this map that they need to iron out, but overall, I think that this is a great map. I do think after playing this for the entire weekend that we should get a new OPR map or 3v3 map once every 6 months. I don't know how possible it is for AGS to create these maps, but I think that if we got a new OPR map or 3v3 map once every 6 months, this will keep the PvP player base extremely happy with New World Aeternum. We haven't got a new 3v3 map since the release of Brimstone Sand, and we still haven't got a full release of a new OPR map. This was just a weekend beta so that they can iron out the bugs and see what we think. I don't want to use the term pump out because that sounds like they're not really trying or taking any care into the maps, but I would really like to see them pump out one map at least every 6 months for 3v3 or OPR. That would give them 1 year development time on each map, especially if they alternated between the 3v3 map and the OPR map once every 6 months. I think 1 year development time for a new map is plenty of time for them to test out, iron out bugs, and see what they like and don't like. I'm going to leave the video off there. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of the new map, if you guys are enjoying playing it, if you guys experience any game breaking bugs, and if there's anything that you'd like to see them change for future maps. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm outie. Peace.